Hello everyone, I am TheMan. Welcome to another review video. Yes, I am finally reviewing Amnesia the Bunker. The reason why it took me so long to review this is because why would I review it when I haven't even finished it? And two, nobody's gonna like what I have to say about this game. I'm gonna check something real quick while we're doing this, because I am curious to see. I am very curious to see oh god, no. No one's gonna like what I have to say. I looked at the reviews on Steam. Oh god. So, another reason why I'm finally doing this is because, as strange as this sounds, I had a dream last night about this game. I had a dream that I played a DLC expansion pack that took the game into the actual battlefield of World War I. And it's a Verdun-size map where you have to go from point A to point B in a huge open world with tons of the beasts in the area. Fuck off, helicopter. So I was like, yeah, I think it's time that I review this. Amnesia the Bunker fucking sucked. It is probably one of the worst games I've played in a long time. It is probably the only bad frictional game, even though I don't like Penumbra because I couldn't get far in Penumbra, but I've thought about returning to Penumbra. Well, this is one of the worst frictional games that they have ever made. I know not a lot of people are going to like it, but I hope everyone can hear me out on this, because I really want to explain why this game sucks and maybe quite a few people could understand. I gave it a bad review on Steam. I never finished it. There's like 4 parts of it on my channel. At the end or up in the corner here should take you to the playlist. This game sucked. Really, really bad. Really bad. I have never been this frustrated in a game since Stalker. This game sucked. But we're going to talk about the pros first, because it does have pros. But then we're going to talk about the cons. And the cons outweigh the pros. Actually, I think they're a bit equal. So let's start off with the pros. I've never really done this before. I've never actually reviewed a game before on my channel. I normally review things that appeal to me, and they're usually good reviews. You know, like, hey, this is so awesome that I have to review it. Well, this game sucks so bad that I have to review it. So, pros are the story. The story was fantastic for a standalone game. Sequel wise, no. For a standalone game, ignoring the fact that it's Amnesia, it's a pretty damn good story. It takes place in World War I on the French side of the war. I like why they did it this way. It brought something new to the table, and not only that, but a World War I horror game is very, very rare. Very rare. There's quite a few that are out there, and this have to be, from the ones I played, this has to be the best when it comes to the horror element, and it being World War I. So, these soldiers have been through at the time, one of the most brutal fucking wars in history. The very, very first world war ever on planet Earth. Even though there's signs that contradict that by like 1,000 years. but still, that's a whole other topic. These soldiers have seen comrades die. These soldiers have seen people get blown to bits, quite literally, blown to bits. They have seen horrors beyond belief. People have gone mad in the fucking trenches, in these bunkers, the bombings, shell shock, which is now known as PTSD. There's a reason why this game doesn't have a sanity meter. It's because these guys are already fucking mad. Now, I'm not saying that to, like, dishonor our troops, you know, but it's true, you know, especially back then when we didn't have a name for it. This is the first time they ever fucking experienced a war like this, or experienced a war at all. Being trapped in those trenches, not knowing when the enemy's going to strike next, not knowing if there's a fucking sniper that's about to take your head clean off, if you poke your head out just a teeny tiny bit. And to top off all the horrors of war, these guys are trapped in a bunker with a creature they cannot explain. They are trapped with horrors beyond their fucking imagination. It's Lovecraft shit. You know, they uncovered Roman tunnels and unleashed this thing they call the Beast. This is combined with a fucking world war. This is causing beyond terrors, beyond their fucking belief. First they have to worry about human enemies. You experience that right off the bat, right off the very beginning. Spoiler alert, there's going to be spoils for all Amnesia games. And then you're trapped in a bunker with a monster. A fictional creature you didn't think could exist, and now it is existing, and it's fucking hunting you down and stalking you. That's horrifying. You're in a bloody world war, getting bombed, seeing your comrades die all the time, and now you're trapped underground with a creature that you didn't think could exist. And it stalks you. It's in the walls. It hunts. It is intelligent. Imagine that. How terrifying is that? And to hear these people experiences how one general or captain is losing his goddamn mind because he can't figure out what the fuck's going on in the bunker because there's shit disappearing, there's weird shit going on, and he's trying to figure out who's doing this because he thinks it's a person, but in fact it is a creature, and he soon finds out that it wasn't one of the soldiers. It's something beyond their imagination that's fucking causing all this madness. That's why there's no sanity meter, because these people are already going fucking mad of war and now dealing with a creature beyond their belief. That's terrifying. Very fucking terrifying. Another pro is the atmosphere. The atmosphere of the game is terrifying. You don't know when this thing is going to attack. It stalks you for the very first half of the game until it finally shows itself. And when it does, it really becomes unpredictable. And you have to watch your back constantly. And you are the only one in this bunker. There's no one else. You're the last one left. From what I've experienced, like I said, I never finished the game. I haven't gotten that far into the game. The atmosphere is terrifying, being stuck in a bunker, a very enclosed space type bunker with a creature. Normally in Amnesia games, you have this big castle, the monster will randomly appear here and there, but you don't know when, but you'll know when it does because there's music, or you'll make a groaning noise like the Moose Man or something like that, or he'll talk to you kind of like the ghoul in in Rebirth, or lights will flicker like the pigs in A Machine for Pigs. This monster is everywhere. You cannot escape it. You can't. There's no way to escape this thing. Like, it doesn't go away. This thing really does not go away. It is not like the Grunt. It is not like Moose Man. It is not like the pigs. It is not like the ghoul. This thing is always there. And you have to figure out how to avoid it all the time. And going into the next pro is a very, very unique concept. They went with something very, very different, and I'm glad they did. Despite me not liking this game, it does bring something fresh to the table, because it was very rinse and repeat for the last 3 games that we got. You know, Machine for Pigs in the same engine, just different story, different monsters, but in the same engine. Then Rebirth, which is sort of a true sequel to The Dark Descent in a different engine, and is pretty much it really is a direct sequel to The Dark Descent, unlike A Machine for Pigs. This time they went with something completely different. You don't have a lantern. You have this light that you have to constantly recharge, constantly pull in order to get the light to stay on. You have a gun that does nothing to the monster. You have, a bunch of different things that is very unique. And it is a very unique concept, being in World War I, being in a bunker. The monster is always there. You have a gun that does nothing to it other than piss it off. That's terrifying. And you have to use your wits. You really have to use your wits in this. It is a true survival game. And now, for the cons. I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself. The story fucking sucked. And I'll tell you why. You remember me saying that, hey, it's a good story for a standalone game? If this wasn't called Amnesia, which it shouldn't have been called, it would be a fantastic story. But to call it Amnesia, which is not what it is at all, in any way, shape, or form, the story fucking sucks. I saw the ending. I had to look up the ending. I didn't watch a full walkthrough, so I may have missed a few things. But from what I've gathered, this adds absolutely nothing to the Amnesia story. This is a complete clean slate, brand new, has nothing, does not even acknowledge, from what I have gathered, does not even acknowledge any of the previous games or events or storylines at all. This game has nothing to do with Amnesia whatsoever. If this was called Penumbra, it would make a whole lot more sense. Because the Penumbra games, I never finished them, but they are kind of intertwined, but not really, unlike Amnesia. Because let me explain something to you, and a lot of people may not understand this, especially the ones that, for some stupid reason, didn't like Rebirth. The Dark Descent follows the storyline of Daniel, who goes to Brennenburg Castle to visit Alexander, of von Brennenberg, who is conducting experiments and is trying to go home through a portal with orbs that will take him to his home, which is in another world. Amnesia Machine for Pigs follows, I can't remember the main character's name, follows a character that has lost his wife and his 2 kids and is conducting experiments with pigs with this machine that is creating these creatures. Now, is he the great nephew of Alexander von Brennenberg? Yes, I do think so. And not only that, but Machine for Pigs explains a lot of the creature origins, especially the water monsters, explaining their physics, explaining why they're invisible, why they exist. They are interdimensional creatures that pop in and out of our world. They exist. They have physical bodies, but to the human eye, we cannot see because they're in limbo between our world and their world. That explains the water monsters and quite a few other creatures from the Dark Descent. And not only that, but Machine for Pigs is probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. The reason being is because it is quite literally a novel. This is something you would read from Poe or Lovecraft. If you want to create a game that's like a novel, take everything from Machine for Pigs of what it did. It held your hand. It told a story while walking. Basically, it's a walking simulator, but with horror elements. And it done so well that game deserves so many awards that it never got because it quite literally is a novel. You could have written a book about Machine for Pigs and it would have been extremely successful. Same with The Dark Descent. These are like novels, especially Machine for Pigs. Rebirth, you follow, again, I can't remember the main character. I think it's Alicia, I can't remember the name, I'm sorry. Who is going to an excavation site with her partner and they crash, and as usual, like both games, they wake up and not knowing where they are. Even though you've seen the crash and seen them go in and out of the world. And you start to realize, as you play the game, she already went through this entire desert and she somehow ended up back at the plane. She already went through all these places. Already went through the desert. Already had her kid. And yet she is already back in the plane. Because her kid got sick and died. But she already trekked through that desert, and now she's back in the plane. This game explained everything about The Dark Descent. For the ones that weren't paying attention, or was for some reason the very first Amnesia game they ever played, go play The Dark Descent, then Rebirth, and you'll understand the story. Because it explains where the darkness came from, where the orb came from, where Alexander went, where Daniel went, what the world that the darkness and Alexander came from. You actually got to see the excavation site where Alexander and Daniel went to find the orb, even though it clearly says in a note that it was in a snowy area, but okay. It really did. I'm 90% sure there's a note that literally says that they went to an excavation site, and I think the Antarctic? I know it was in the snow. They never mentioned a desert. But, oh well. I mean, it's fine. So, that's it. This game explains nothing. This game doesn't explain what happened after Rebirth. This game doesn't... I think it actually takes place before Rebirth. I think by a decade. I think it takes place a decade before Rebirth. I do believe. I'm gonna have to look it up. But this game doesn't explain anything. Does not explain anything. The Roman tunnels don't have any explanation. They're just Roman tunnels. There's nothing mysterious about them. That doesn't take you to the world where the darkness came from. It doesn't do anything. It's literally just Roman tunnels, and there's a monster hidden inside of it. No mentions of the orb, no mentions of any of the previous games, no mention of the world, no mention of the darkness. The darkness doesn't show up. There's only one monster, even though there's screenshots of another monster. In fact, it does show up in the game at the very beginning, and then never shows up again. So, this storyline adds nothing to the Amnesia storyline. This should have never been called Amnesia, because this is not what it is. Just because your character wakes up and doesn't know what the fuck's going on doesn't make it an Amnesia game. Even though, yes, that's a running theme, but the thing is, we're not supposed to know how they got amnesia. We're not supposed to know how they got to the bunker. But you see what happened to him. It explains it literally right at the beginning of the game, how he got amnesia and why he's in the bunker. The explosion trying to rescue his comrade. The shrapnel hit him in the back of the head and caused him to get amnesia, and the soldiers rescued him and put him in the bunker, and that's it. The only thing that he doesn't know what's going on is why everyone's dead, why there's a monster, what the hell are the Roman tunnels, and why they're trapped down there. That's it. This has nothing to do with amnesia whatsoever. If they would have called it Penumbra of the Bunker, it would have made a lot more sense. In fact, this feels like a Penumbra game. But another thing is this could have been a standalone game by itself, like Soma. Soma's probably not gonna get a sequel, unfortunately. And it could have been a brand new IP, like Soma. They could have done something completely different and made a whole new IP with the bunker. They could have just called it The Bunker or something like that. This could have been something else besides Amnesia, just because this is the problem with some game studios. When something is successful, you just keep sticking to it. Instead of branching out, you're branching out but still using the same name as a successful game that made you very successful. But you're not adding on to that game franchise. You're just using its name. And that's the problem with Amnesia the Bunker, is that it's not an Amnesia game. It's its own standalone game. It brings nothing new to the storyline to Amnesia. It doesn't explain anything. It's not an Amnesia game. And the ending has to be one of the worst fucking endings I've ever seen for a game. You literally escaped the bunker. You escaped the bunker. That's it. That's the whole ending. The monster also escapes and then runs off into the battlefield, and you supposedly get rescued by either German soldiers or French soldiers. We don't know. But at the same time, it's like, that's it. There's no boss battle. There's no in-between worlds. There's nothing. You just escape. You literally complete the actual goal of the game, which is to escape the bunker, and you actually escape the bunker. And so does the monster. That's it. That's the whole story. You complete your objective, you survive, and the monster survives, and that's it. That is the whole damn game. It is so disappointing. So disappointing. Brings me to con number 2. Gameplay. Oh my god. Why did they do this? This is the thing that pisses me off the most. I don't care that the fact that the story doesn't coincide with other Amnesia games. Good God. Having to run back and forth from point A to point B to the fucking safe house just to save the game. Not only that, but if you make so much progress and you die, you lose everything. There is no autosave. You know the little flicker of the light up in the corner? That's not an autosave. That's just showing that it's loading the level. I don't even know why that's there. It's not an autosave. Why is that even there? Why would you put a thing that usually indicates an autosave when it doesn't autosave? You have to manually save it at only one place. There's only one place in this huge ass bunker that you can save the game. There is nowhere else you can save the game from what I was able to get to, because I spent literally, let me tell you how many hours I have on this damn game. I have 5.5 hours of doing absolutely nothing but die, spawn, die, spawn, die. 5 hours of me running around the bunker like a lost stray animal, not knowing what the hell I'm supposed to do. And not only that, but trying to avoid death at all costs, because if I die, I lose every single thing, and I literally have to run from the safe house all the way to back where I just was. Now imagine getting to an area like the Roman tunnels, and there's no save system, there's no light, and you die. You have to run all the way back to the Roman tunnels. You have to, like, let's say you have to blow up something, or you have to do something to try and get to the Roman tunnels that you can't do again because you died. You have to go get that item, do that, go to the Roman tunnels, unlock the Roman tunnels, run all the way back to the safe house, save it, run all the way back to the Roman tunnels. And if you die, you have to run all the way back there again. I spent 5 hours dying. Those 5 hours was nothing of me, nothing but death, constantly. Because the way I play my games is I run constantly to try and finish this game. I'm not trying to speed run it on purpose. This is just how I play my games. I want to experience the game, experience the story, get the game done, and then turn it off. That's how I play my games. This game is not meant to be played like that. You have to be so careful with every teeny tiny move and noise you make could determine whether you live or die or not. Yes, that's terrifying. Yes, that adds to the stress and suspense. Yes, it's stressful going from point A to point B, trying to avoid death, trying not to die, knowing that if you die, you lose everything. But it makes the game absolutely horrible and unplayable and unfair and unbalanced. It is probably one of the most unbalanced games I've ever fucking played in my life, besides Stalker. This game is so bad that I made no progress within those 4 parts. Part 3 is literally me. Actually, no, part 3 and 4 is literally me running around in the same location for an hour. No edits. An hour video of me running around, dying constantly. Because there's only one save. Only one save in this entire bunker. And whenever it tells you about how these lamps work, it says lamps, not lamp. Meaning there's more saves, but they're probably further into the game, which you can't even get to because you have to find so many items. And if you find items, you have to run back to the storage box, put items away, which I don't mind the whole storage inventory management. I honestly like that. That's one of the main things what I like about Resident Evil is the storage management. But if you find a key item and you die, you have to go all the way back to get that key item, because you have to grab that item, run all the way back to the safe house, save it, then go find out where the fuck to even use that key item. This is the reason why I can't play this game. I know I can play it on easy, but since I own a damn YouTube channel, I have to play it on whatever difficulty I put it on because I can't manually change it. I have to go out, start a brand new game, put it on easy, and then play it again. What is the point in doing all that when I've already put 5 hours, 4 parts, each an hour long, on my YouTube channel just for me to start a brand new game on a easier difficulty? And just to make all the progress I just spent 5 hours on again. And another thing about the gameplay, the generator. It says this thing hates lights. That's a big ass lie. That's a big ass lie. This thing comes out and fucking with the lights fucking blaring. This thing doesn't hate the lights. That's a big ass lie. That's the biggest lie of this game, is that this thing hates the lights. Sure, it doesn't come out more often, but still, if you make a noise, that thing's going to come out and kill you. It's going to hunt you down, whether the lights are on or not. And having to manage resources, especially gas for the generator, it's a pain in the ass. Very big pain in the ass, because you're so far away from the generator that you can't just, oh, here's some fuel, I'm going to fill this up just a tiny bit. By the time you get to point B from the safe house, that shit's already gone halfway. Like, you're almost out of fuel by the time you even get to the location you're supposed to go. This sounds like I played on hardcore mode. No, this is normal mode. This is literally normal, regular difficulty. This is not hard or hardcore or extreme. No, this is normal difficulty on this game. This is awful. And the rats. Oh my God, those little fuckers do so much damage. I don't know why the rats do so much goddamn damage. This, oh my God. And the monster is annoying. One thing I do like about the monster is it can fucking destroy closets, which is terrifying because it makes you feel like nowhere is safe. That's one of the things I actually do like about this monster. But this monster, you don't know if it's going to trip your legs when you go past the hole or not. And I thought this thing was blind because I thought the rats were its eyes, because I noticed whenever I was in a room with the rats, the monster came. So I thought, okay, it's blind, but the rats are its eyes because it's in tunnels. Usually things that dig underground are blind, like moles. I thought it was like a mole where it's blind and it can only hear. No, this shit ain't blind. That's for damn fucking sure this thing ain't blind. Which I kind of wish it was, because it would make the game a little more interesting. But the fact that it's not, you could stand right in front of it and it will instantly go and attack you. Now, it may be blind and it can just smell you, but no, this thing ain't fucking blind. You kidding me? But yeah, this game fucking sucks. This game absolutely fucking sucks. It's an interesting concept, and for a standalone game, not being an Amnesia game, but just a standalone game, the story's good. The atmosphere is great. It's a fantastic concept, but the gameplay is awful. Having to lose so much progress because there's only one save is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It makes it unfair and unbalanced. Majorly unbalanced. To the point where you literally can't progress. You cannot progress in this game. Like, okay, those 5 hours, I barely scratched the surface of that game. Like, I didn't even make it to the Roman tunnels. I didn't even find the nest until like 5 hours in. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. The fact that I have to spend 5 hours in a game and make this much progress in a Amnesia game, in a horror game. Getting lost is fine. You know, that's what makes it kind of scary. That's what makes horror games kind of scary, is getting lost. But the fact that you have to worry about so many things makes this game so stressful that if you're like have health issues and you can't get stressed, or else don't play this fucking game. Because this game will literally stress you out so much that you can't play it for more than an hour. Because you are constantly trying not to die. Because if you die, you start from the very last save you did. And if you forget to touch that lamp and relight it before you leave the safe house, you're done. You lost everything. Why the fuck did they make it like this? Did they not test this game out at all? Because this game is literally unplayable. The gameplay makes it unplayable. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The monster is so goddamn annoying. The rats do so much damage. One rat can almost kill you. One rat can almost kill you. And you can't dodge him. Unless you have meat, which is extremely scarce. Or you like the body with the flare, which is also extremely scarce. Those also hinder your progress, because they literally put a body with rats around it in a hallway where you're supposed to go. And you can't shoot the rats because they just keep coming back. And you just wasted ammo. Ammo is extremely scarce. This game mixed Resident Evil with Amnesia. They basically took a lot of elements from Resident Evil, which is fine. But they took the typewriter system, and instead of having to look for ink ribbons, you just have one save point. Instead of in Resident Evil 1, where you have multiple save points in multiple areas. There's some rooms that I've encountered in the bunker that could have easily been other safe rooms. Just because the generator is there doesn't mean it's a safe room. So no, this game sucks. This game sucks so much. It brings nothing to the table when it comes to progressing the story of the Amnesia storyline, which is pretty much ended with Rebirth. There's nothing left to explain because Rebirth explained everything. What else is there to do? You could have made this a completely new IP. You could have made it Penumbra. This is a Penumbra fucking game. This is not Amnesia. This is one of the worst games I think I've ever fucking played besides Stalker. One of the worst games I've played. You make no progress. You make little progress at all. You have one save point in a huge ass bunker. You have a monster hunting you constantly. You have to make sure that generator stays on or that thing's going to be roaming the halls forever. And you can't progress because it's roaming the halls. Because that, unlike Rebirth or Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and Machine for Pigs, this thing insta-kills you no matter what. This thing is an insta-kill, which makes it worse because you can't get away. So this game is awful. Don't play Amnesia the Bunker. I should have made this review back when I first played it, but I didn't because I feel like my gameplay was justice to how awful this game is. But don't play it. If anyone from Frictional Games sees this, please take note, for real. Take note that these gameplay mechanics don't work. They don't work. There has to be an autosave. Why? Especially on normal. You're playing on normal and there's one save point. Give us an autosave. Give us an autosave for once. Or explain what the little thing down in the corner means, because it's not an autosave. I don't even know why it's there. This sucks. It sucks really bad. Really bad. Don't play it. Seriously, don't play this game. If you like challenge, by all means play it. But if you're playing this for the sake of just playing it because it's Amnesia or because you like horror, don't play it. Do not play it. I am the man and goodbye. Go check out my playthrough and you may get some insight on why this game fucking sucks. To Frictional Games, learn your lesson. It doesn't work. It does not work. You can't be like Todd Howard and say it just works. Because only Fallout 76 just works. Not Amnesia the Bunker. And I recommend a title change for this game. Just saying. I am the man and goodbye.